Hello everybody, today we're playing in Brawl. Choco, Seeker of Paradise is a 4 mana legendary creature bird that's a 3/5 and has whenever one or more birds you control attack, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may put one of them into your hand, then put any number of land cards among them onto the battlefield tapped, and the rest into your graveyard. And has landfall whenever land you control enters. Choco gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So this commander is a banned birds from Final Fantasy. There has been other banned commanders, for example, Derevi, but Derevi is very high into the queue, so people tend to avoid playing that type of archetype. This is a true Birds Matter deck, especially with his effect. Is the first effect you want to play around, where when one or more birds attack, you can look at that one card. It can be the card you need, and the rest of their lands, you just send them into the battlefield. And any sort of landfall triggers are with Choco. Choco gets quite large. There's quite a bit of ways to play Bird Tribal. I like it how I play it. I play as more of a tempo variant, tends to have the highest success. It is it is a fun way to play with birds and takes advantage of his strengths and try to mitigate his weaknesses. So what's the advantage of birds is they are small evasive creatures. We play all the cheap birds. We have some of the mid-sized birds either to protection or just have good stats. And we cover that with anthems because we run quite wide in the field. We make those birds stronger and we attach to all these evasive creatures pretty much all the enchantments that lets us draw when they attack. As well, Invasion of Gobekhan is another good way to scale with birds because you can flip early. We negate their expensive card or the card that can interact the best against us, and then we have Light Shield Array that gives us +1/+1 to our attackers, which are constantly attacking, and we can protect the board. So that's a pretty nice game plan. As for the early game, we have a couple options. We mainly want a creature. That's the most important side. And we want to pair it with these type of curiosity effects so we can draw. To complement that, we want interaction to protect that bird because they're cheap. Tend to be cheap spells, so it's pretty easy to protect those as well. As for ramp, we have to be very picky because we do not have many green spells. There is unfortunately very few flyers, and most of our mono green birds are ramp spells. So we specifically have ramp cards that tap not necessarily not for green, for white or any color is preferable. As for Final Fantasy birds, we have Zell's Chocobo that scales pretty nicely. In Brawl scales significantly faster because there are the tutor cards, the fetch lands. You can get double triggers in a single turn, and that especially play the Chocobo early, it scales very fast, and on its own, it can just win a game. And for traveling Chocobo, is fantastic in any green deck. And for this especially, you are able to play the lands, which this deck wants, to get specific land drops for your landfall triggers, either for your commander or for the Chocobo. And you're able to play birds. This deck plays pretty much exclusively birds. And you have Bart Sambuco, which on as a commander, there's just not enough birds to play as a mono green commander, but in the 99, especially for this deck, very not uncommon to play him for 3 or 2 green. And it's a removal, which is quite nice. Now, how do we win with this deck? Because birds has their strength is they're able to draw quite well. So we have our main game plan is to play birds with draw effects and protect them with counter magic. Counter magic is the most flexible spell we can do, as it not only defends our board against board wipes and interaction, but also can negate our opponent's dangerous spells. In Brawl, there are many very powerful win the game cards or setup pieces that we need to deny with all of our interaction. Fortunately, because we're in white, we also have access to removal, special to deal with the elves turn 1, and we have some interaction for any creature that sticks because if there are many blockers for our birds, we can no longer draw. So we need to deny that game plan. And because we need to draw as well, I like Violent Uptasa and Enduring Curiosity are just really good for these type of effects. Any evasive creature being able to attack means Enduring Curiosity gets its full effect, and we're able to draw many cards a turn, and we can pick and choose to what we need. Worst case scenario, that's where our commander goes in. Where are we going to play our commander? We have our birds, and we're able to pick and choose the cards we need. We have Flare Denial, if we need to play that free spell, and why we have an emphasis on specifically blue birds, because we're able to sacrifice them to Flare Denial. In Choco in the late game, if we're dealing with their board, it's not uncommon for this bird to hit very hard very quickly. And once we ramp to our late game, we can pay for our more expensive cards with Cyclonic Rift, Reverse Rebuke, bounce your entire board and just win on the spot, or play multiple anthems and also win that way. And we have a backup plan of Smile at Death, as pretty much almost all our cards have 2 or less power. And we can bring up multiple birds if they died, and we can scale to the late game that route. As for Anthem especially, I like to play the 2 mana Anthems, but the big one for 3 mana I like the most is Patchwork Banner. There are other ones, but they're just way too expensive for a deck like this. This is a deck that wants to play a spell and always interaction, mostly keep counter magic up, because it needs to protect the board. This is a deck that if it ever falls behind, it's pretty difficult to come back into the game. But if it's ahead, it is very oppressive. That's how this archetype works. And the advantage of the banner is almost like it discounts itself by 1 mana. So with just 1 extra mana of 4 mana, we're able to have 2 mana open for an interaction spell. So let's see how we do with Choco, Seeker of Paradise. Just too slow into that matchup. We don't have counter mag, which I do not like. Let's try to fetch an elf, I believe. If it's not bad. Do we need enchantment? I think we can get away with it. If we draw a green, and we're not gonna draw a green. Creature with flying. I'm thinking if I draw... Need a white and a green. Let's get the bird here. I think we're gonna play Winged Bird. Hopefully the bird doesn't die. So be it. Gotta make him have it. Okay, there's the argument to do you and you. It's a bit greedy, but we scale a little bit better. Let's go for it. I'd like to surveil here. Question is, do we... I think we draw first. Okay. I would like a white, but do I need the trio? We're good in blue. So we can surveil here. I want you. One interaction, I think. It's not a bad card. I think it's too slow in this matchup, unfortunately. At this point, I won my counter magic. It's fine. There's a blocker for you. I think at this point we pump here, we punch. Will he sacrifice this for a flyer? So I don't know. I don't think I mind too much for this trade. Like a curiosity or a bird. Both are good. But I don't think I'm gonna get the chance to play curiosity. Maybe we do. Still undecided. I'll take this trade though. It's fine. Death Toucher. So what we can do is hit. This gives Death Touch. We can do some interesting setup here. Can exile on response. Yeah. Oh, that's it? Alright. I should have taken out that. I misplayed. I got too excited. Got too excited. Alright. I should have just taken out that. My bad. As removal, we can spell pierce. We can also parting gust if we need to save something. If he has an enchantment, we have the enchanter. Okay. Can deal with this, but do I need to? I don't think so. With my storm. So we can do that on our turn. What don't I want? We are gonna draw. So I think we do you and bring this to our hand. Okay, I think I'm good with this. Questions, we're gonna need Spell Pierce up. If Spell Pierce is gonna be up, I can't play you because I need the blue. I think we stop here. I believe we can counter. I have to sacrifice my commander, unfortunately. Alright. Draw the best of my draw. So do we deal with this so he doesn't get flyers? I don't care too much of it. I think I need to start interacting. We can get his fish, deal with him. Okay, I need to start dealing with that. So you can just chump block, which I'm okay with. Do like it fine, but you have no flyers. What do I want? I want to do with you. 100%. Do we need to play a blue? No. Then we can play you if we want, because we have to sacrifice anyway, which I'm okay with. Or we can spell pierce. I think it's good. I don't see a negative of not playing him. We can sack it for the removal. Yep. That's why we run it. Where do I need? We can play a triumph. This goes to my hand. All right. Alright, we have a backup in case opponent board wipes us. What do I want? We can get to scry here. I like to scry. Oh, two. Yep, that's a good card. Alright, from here on we can scale, we can enable the scream. We had quite a bit of an advantage. And the value of the flare. And why this deck runs quite a bit of blue flyer specifically is for the flare. GG's. Against Jacob. So I want to be fast into that type of deck. Last hand does nothing. Even though we had a ramp spell, we needed a flyer or two. Okay. I think flare. Well, so you have to play this. Oh, it's a turn one counter spell. Let's see what they have. Out. Right. There are some 1 minute counter spells, but they are very rare. Yeah, you can run bounce spells, for example. I think I'm running the bird. What do I want, white or a blue? Inefficient. I would love to play that land, but I don't think that's the correct play. I can white blue. It's not bad. I want to draw here. The opponent just wants to counter it. Or bounce it. Let's go. And we get to fight here. Alright. So I believe... Let's surveil. I do not want that land. Do I want that for next turn? I think we have enough lands at this point. Let's keep going. Opponent Brawling may have a bounce spell. Let's see it. Watch it. How many cards? Space 6. Alright. Pretty good. That's the advantage of our deck. Opponent is slow. That's why we want aggression here. Draw more cards than the opponent, that means drawing more counter spell. I do like Cavern of Souls, so I think I want that. So we can double spell here. I think we deal with Jacob. I do want this. I want this hit guaranteed. I want to draw that Counter of Souls now. Don't think I want that, but we can wait. We can play Dazzling Denial, No More Lies. Do I care too much? Let's play the No More Lies. And we get to surveil off the... Let's play blue. Alright. I'd like to play this bird. We can play 4 and have 2 up. So let's play you, a bird. Sure. To our hand. Alright. Don't place a review, we have a counter. From this point on, we just want to perma counter the opponent. Yep. Hey blue player, how does it feel getting everything countered? Yep. Yeah, from this point on, we can lock him out. And that's how you beat these matchups. Big tip against blue. Either playing mono blue or normally blue deck, the aggressor always wins into blue. Blue is very bad against creatures that are in the field. The opponent had to spend their 4 mana spell to deal with our enchanted creature, but at that point we had just a winning position. We had a creature with draw, so the opponent, if they just let us hit, we were constantly drawing against the opponent. The Chocobo, specifically why I played over other bird, is we get to play bird from the top of our library and we're able to play land. So we're always going to get our guaranteed land. And we're able to get more counter spells against the opponent. We have to play 3 and we had 1 more. So the opponent, we were just going to win that game. We just had more cards, more mana. So GG's. Against Dina, we do have mana drain. I mean, if the hand has mana drain, we always keep. We don't have a plains or an island. So we'll draw here then. It is a blue, but do we need it? I think at this point we don't. We already have our blue. By playing the Virgin, the command. The opponent can Thoughtseize or Durissa, so that's a thing. Alright. I'll trade a mana drain for a Thoughtseize. It is not bad. It is not bad. I think at this point I do want to chart a course. Make good cards. We're gonna need protection, so I can't just play the Hawk with the Curiosity. It's just too much of a free target. I'd like to play you two together. Let's play this bird. We can play both. Yeah, let's do it. Opponent kills one, it's fine. Opponent kills two. It's a bit bad, but not the end of the world. Green has a lot of removal for flyers. And in general, black has a lot of cheap removal. Our hope is our two flyers don't die. But the opponent hasn't enough time to ramp to play their commander. So they just keep interacting, they're gonna run out of lands very quickly. I mean, this is great. But I do want a Curiosity here. There's Curiosity on the Hawk. Opponent wants to kill in response, we have the Denial. Counter. Opponent double removal? It's okay. Opponent wanted to do that play, should have done it this turn. Especially as we are the blue deck. I do like Rift, but we don't need to play anything now, I believe. But we can be patient. It looks like Barks and Boko may not see much play now, we'll see. That may be our Pro Box target. I'll do like both. If we spend our threats, the opponent can't kill both, which is fine for me. Unfortunately, it does mean they will get a free removal spell. It happens. Here we're trying to draw interaction, mainly counter magic. Okay, that's not bad. Unable to scream is good, but we don't have a good target. We can do this for the Rift to take out the Dina. I don't care too much. I think they're better targets. Right now, if I'm gonna enable the scream, I want to do it into a creature that's scary. Okay. He wants to tutor a Boroi, we can interrupter it. I think the opponent, there's they can play quite a few spells here that are on 3 that are board wipes. Toxic Deluge is the one I'm thinking. Grim Tutor. Fine. So doubling tutoring here. So I do want to Rift his Dina then. Bring it back to your hand. We have no use for Rift now. Now we need to draw land. counter magic. Nope. Okay, we drew a land. If we play you, we still have our interaction piece. So let's name bird. Alright, I don't know what they were trying to look for. But if it's just a one expensive spell, we had the Interrupter. We didn't draw another counter magic, which is what we pretty much needed. But we had interaction if the opponent played a big creature. If the opponent played a small creature, we had Bartz and Boko. And one of the big tips is don't play Chrome Ox unless you need to. Because here, our other spells are more valuable than the ramp. And we had our scaling with our card draw. GG's. We have no creatures for an enchantment, so I don't like this hand too much. If we had one bird, I think I would have kept this hand. Especially to Simic, I would like to draw. And we're going second, so we have no interaction to turn one elf. Not the best, but we do have turn one ramp ourselves. Well, it looks like it's gonna be race to playing our commander. I am considering rifting there. I can rift or play. I can surveil here. Cat, I will counter this. A cat is very dangerous. What do I want? I want a white. White blue would be nice. Play no more lies here. They are a deck that can eventually pay. I really would like Curiosity, but I think the bird is fine. But I can do it on their end step. One options. Someone plays a very scary spell, I can counter it. Invasion on 2. Fine. It's something that gets uncounterable, it's not a problem for us. What else can they get? There are some tutors in 2. I have to be non-human as well. Wonder if he wants to attack. Alright, let's punish it. That slows our opponent quite significantly. I like to play you. We have the Mox to draw a land. I like to counter. How important it is to counter. I am worried from some weird board wipe. think I'll go the Rift. At this point we have to try to protect ourselves the best we can. Save the flow strand for when we need to go on offense. Alright, they can get their lands. That means he doesn't want to block with the analyst. Because he has to pay 4. Alright, let's use it. More blockers. I don't have 2s here. I think at this point I do want to attack with the bird. Sounds weird, but try to get many cards deep as we can. Okay, that's alright. That's his play. I will on the surveil here. Does not do much. Okay, I have access to double counter. 2. I don't. I needed 1 more blue here. So I'm okay to do this. Gets a landfall. Alright, let's counter it. That gives a lot of blocker. Not give him the chance. Alright. We got there. Here, it may sound that we just won in a landslide, but these are decks that ramp to the moon. And the analysts, for example, we've gotten them quite a bit of lands. And from there on out, they could have paid the 8 and scaled with their towns. A bit weird that I didn't see he had any towns. Got unlucky on that department. But it just plays slow and steady. Play the tempo game. GG's. We don't have blue. We don't keep. It's fine, we have removal. We can start bird. Fortunately, we go second. Where he went that turn. Play the compass. I would like to play you. With different colors. We're gonna need the triumph because we need every color. You can get surveil. We can surveil if we want. We don't have a surveil in blue, right? No. Alright, let's get the triumph. Could play Ledger Shredder, but I'd like to protect him. Deal with that. Why did it? I'm getting griefed by my lands. Cool. I forgot, like, Arena hates pain lands and auto tap for that. That's a brainstorm. Maybe we can draw something that's not terrible. You can put this and this. We're gonna need the counter spell by next turn. Question here. There's not that many boardwalks that can hit 5. I'm willing to play Ledger Shredder here. One wants to draw. We were pretty unlucky on the colors here. Let me get that one. We want you see? Client. I can play that. Play it now. Keep going. Get to Scry. I'd like to Raven next turn. I can't. I need a blue. Alright, we just chill at this point. Three, four, five, six. So we have a timer here because when you cast creature attacks, you need to draw like lands. I do want to counter you because you're a blocker. I think at this point we do play the bird. We try Surveil to get lethal. Oops. That's not bad. Okay, I get to deal with him. Come down to 2. And we need to go wide because now he has the spires. He's going to be untapping constantly. The problem with red, especially playing more of a control-oriented deck, is dealing with high toughness creatures. It's very difficult for red. I did tap out, so the opponent is remotely can't deal with one of my birds. Do I want to know more lies? I think I don't care too much about Rebuke. Will we sacrifice it? That was a weird play. 2 and 2. What do I want? We do that. Even if he blocks one, it's over. For the post-game wrap with Choco Seeker of Paradise. It's a fun deck if you like to play these bird tribal with interactions. As I said, this is an archetype that pretty much lives and dies if it is able to be first in the field and have more mana than the opponent. Choco is able to guarantee that mana if we need to and draw to the spell that we deem necessary. One of the advantages is we can have we don't need many birds to really stick in the battlefield as long as we have that one or two birds with those enchantment effects to draw. That and Choco can just solo win a game. One of the advantages of this bird deck is your commander, if it's just hitting freely, it is a very fast clock. And this deck runs quite a bit of interaction, so it's not uncommon for it to hit pretty hard every turn. As for the landfall synergies, that's where I would say it's a bit weird for a deck like this. You can play it more landfall, but tends to be just a different style. You need to play more expensive birds, and you want to play more landfall synergy with green, but then you're competing with other green decks that do what you do but better. And for birds, where I have the most success is playing the cheap birds and run that tempo archetype. As for the Final Fantasy cards, I'll say especially the Chocobo and the two Chocobos are by far the better crafts. Arts is fine, but it's very rare to get to find this card, usually when you need it, and you already have to have the birds in the battlefield, but it is not bad. As for cards I really like in this deck, of course, are the Thassa and the Curiosity. Any sort of mono blue or low to the ground blue aggressive deck, these cards can just single-handedly win you a game. The Enduring Curiosity having Flash means you can surprise block an opponent's attack, and later go on offense and draw many cards. This is what this deck wants. And you have the late game plan of Rift or Rebuke to bounce your entire board and just finish a game. As for this is a deck you're going to be seeing a lot, so how to deal with a deck like this is aggro. This deck, normally these blue type decks are very susceptible and are pretty frail against aggressive decks. Decks that can be faster than you and can outrace you are a big problem, because if you get to a point where you're forcing the opponent to constantly interact, you have to interact with them, then the aggressor will always be able to win. Especially against the blue mirrors. That's one of the advantages of a deck like this is we have very cheap creatures. We're able to, they set up our aggressive game plan, and from there on out we draw more cards than the opponent and can play the counter matchup. We can trade counter spells left and right and have more resources than our opponent, so we're gonna win those matchups. But against aggro is when this deck really can falter, and I would say that's one of the big weaknesses. And other big flyers can be a bit of a problem, but if we have the draw of bird and enchantment, we can normally have more than enough resources to deal with the opponent. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below which other commanders would you like me to play. Thanks for watching.